My name is Sophia Bennett. I'm 29. Last Saturday at 7:43 p.m., I stood in front of 60 guests at the Drake Hotel ballroom while my future sister-in-law announced that my new role in the Bennett family would be managing her father's golf schedule, balancing the household accounts, and remembering everyone's birthdays, because that's what the heart of the family does. My fiancé Nathan sat 3 feet away, champagne glass in hand, and said nothing. The crystal chandeliers above us cost more than my annual salary. I was wearing the $3,200 dress his mother picked out. And I realized, standing there under those lights, that I'd just funded my own cage. Sophia? Lauren Bennett smiled at me from the podium, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. You look surprised. Didn't Nathan explain the family traditions? 60 pairs of eyes turned toward me. My throat closed. Nathan's hand found mine under the table, not reassuring, restraining. His fingers pressed hard against my knuckles. I thought, I said carefully, that we'd discuss household arrangements together, as equals. Victoria Bennett's laugh cut through the room like breaking glass. Darling, that's adorable. But Bennett women have always understood their place. It's not servitude, it's service. There's a difference. Before I go on, if stories about standing up for yourself mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now and what time is it there. Because what happened next changed everything. But I need to take you back 6 years, to the day I met Mia Callahan in our sophomore dorm at Northwestern. It was 2 a.m., and I was crying over my structural engineering midterm, convinced I'd failed. Mia appeared in my doorway with 2 cups of terrible coffee and sat on my floor without asking. You didn't fail, she said, reading the equations over my shoulder. You just calculated load-bearing capacity for a building twice the size. Your math is perfect. You're just dreaming bigger than the assignment. She smelled like law library, old paper and highlighter ink. She had this way of tilting her head when she listened, like every word you said mattered legally. We stayed up until dawn that night, and when I finally admitted I was terrified of ending up like my mother, brilliant, diminished, erased, Mia squeezed my hand. Promise me something, she said. If anyone ever tries to make you smaller, you call me. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter why. I will always pick up. I promised. I meant it. 6 years later, that promise would save me. Nathan Bennett walked into Sterling and Hayes Architects on a Tuesday in March, portfolio in hand, asking about residential design consultations. He had this crooked smile, expensive suit, easy confidence. He wanted to renovate his Gold Coast townhouse. 3 stories, original 1890s bones, listed at $890,000. I need someone who can respect the history but isn't afraid to reinvent, he said, sliding blueprints across my desk. Someone who sees potential. I was 27, 3 years into my job, hungry to prove myself. I spent 2 weeks designing plans that honored the Victorian structure while creating open modern spaces. When I presented them, Nathan didn't look at the drawings. He looked at me. Marry me, he said. I laughed. I meant the house. I meant you. 6 months later, I said yes. Not because of the house, not because of his family's money, because he looked at me the way people look at buildings they want to preserve, like I was worth protecting. I was wrong about what he wanted to preserve. The Gold Coast townhouse closed on September 14th. Nathan suggested we buy it together. Equal partners, fresh start. I'd saved $120,000 from 6 years of architectural work, living in a studio apartment, skipping vacations, eating lunch at my desk. He contributed $25,000. I'll make it up over time, he promised. We're a team now. The closing took 40 minutes. Nathan's family lawyer, Gerald Morrison, spread documents across the conference table like a card dealer. Purchase agreement, mortgage papers, title deed. I signed where Gerald pointed, initials climbing up the margins. Congratulations, Gerald said, shaking Nathan's hand first. You're homeowners. That night, Nathan opened champagne. We sat on the floor of our empty townhouse, and he traced the crown molding with his finger. "This is ours," he said. "Everything we build starts here." What I didn't know, what I wouldn't discover for 8 months, was that on the same day we signed the deed, Nathan recorded a separate document with the Cook County Recorder's Office, an Illinois land trust, naming himself sole trustee with unilateral power to sell, refinance, or transfer the property without my signature. The deed showed joint tenancy, the trust showed control. The first time money disappeared from our joint account, I was standing in the Sterling and Hayes break room, reviewing blueprints for the Morrison Medical Center expansion. My phone buzzed. Bank alert. Transfer to external account, $1,500. I called Nathan. He was at the Bennett family office, voice distracted. "Oh, that. Lauren needed help with her condo fees. I'll pay it back." "From our joint account?" "Soph, she's family. It's temporary." 2 weeks later, $800. Same external account. Same explanation. "Nathan, we have a $2,400 mortgage payment due in 6 days." "I'll handle it." "Don't micromanage, babe. It's not a good look." The wedding deposits started disappearing in December. I'd paid $4,200 to the florist, $3,800 to the photographer, $6,500 to the caterer, all from the joint account. When I tried to confirm details, the florist said they'd received cancellation notices. "From Nathan Bennett's email," she explained. "He said you were postponing. He requested refunds to an account ending in 7743. I didn't recognize that account number. I called Nathan 12 times. He finally answered at 11:30 p.m. "Jesus, Sophia, I'm at dinner with clients. Can this wait? Did you cancel our wedding vendors?" Pause, long enough to hear my pulse in my ears. "Lauren thought we should use her contacts. Better rates. I was going to tell you." "You stole $14,500 from our wedding budget and gave it to your sister?" "I didn't steal anything. It's our money. And Lauren's helping us. Show some gratitude." He hung up. I sat on our bedroom floor, our bedroom, in our townhouse, that I'd paid $120,000 to own, and opened my banking app. Joint account balance, $340. My personal savings, untouched in a separate account, $1,200. The mortgage was due in 4 days. I paid it from my savings. I didn't tell Nathan. I was afraid of what it meant that I was already keeping financial secrets. The engagement party was Victoria Bennett's idea. The Drake Hotel, naturally. Nothing but the best for our newest Bennett woman. She'd planned everything without asking me. The guest list, the menu, the seating chart, even my dress. When I suggested inviting my colleagues from Sterling and Hayes, she'd smiled tightly. "Let's keep it intimate, darling. Family and our circle." I didn't push back. I was still trying to earn my place. The party was beautiful. 60 guests, crystal chandeliers, white roses, champagne towers. Charles Bennett gave a toast about legacy and tradition. Victoria spoke about the sacred responsibility of being a Bennett wife. Then Lauren stepped to the podium. "I want to talk about what it really means to join this family," she began, her voice warm, performative. "Because Sophia's about to discover something wonderful. Being a Bennett woman isn't just about wearing the ring, it's about becoming the heart of the family." Applause. Knowing smiles from the older women. "That means taking over management of the household accounts, making sure the bills are paid, the staff are scheduled, the family calendar is coordinated. That means remembering Dad's golf schedule, Mom's charity events, Nathan's client dinners. That means being the one everyone calls when something needs handling. These are the acts of service that truly bind us." My stomach dropped. Nathan was watching me, expression unreadable. "And Sophia," Lauren continued, her smile brightening, "I have to say, I'm so relieved. I've been managing these responsibilities for years, and honestly, I'm exhausted. Having you take over is like gaining a sister and losing a second job." Welcome to the family. The applause was deafening. Victoria was crying happy tears. Charles raised his glass. And Nathan squeezed my hand again, that same restraining pressure, while his family celebrated my new role as their unpaid household manager. I stood up. The room went quiet. I need to understand something, I said, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. Lauren, you've described a full-time administrative position, calendar management, financial oversight, family coordination. That's not a role, that's a job. Are Bennett women compensated for this work? Victoria's smile froze. Lauren blinked twice, confused. Compensated? Victoria repeated. Darling, it's family. I'm a senior architect at a major firm. I manage multi-million-dollar construction projects. I'm asking if I'm expected to take on another full-time job managing your family's household? What's the compensation structure? Charles cleared his throat. Sophia, you're misunderstanding the... Or is the compensation theoretical? I continued. Like Nathan's promise to make up the $95,000 difference in our down payment, or his promise to pay back the $2,300 he transferred to Lauren from our joint account? Because I'm still waiting for those to materialize. Nathan stood so fast his chair scraped. Sophia, not here. Where then? When you canceled $14,500 in wedding deposits without telling me? When your sister spent our mortgage money? When was I supposed to discuss the unequal roles you're all celebrating right now? You're embarrassing yourself, Nathan said quietly. His jaw was tight. His eyes were flat. No, I said. I'm embarrassing you. There's a difference. I walked out, left the dress, the ring display, the celebration of my servitude, took the elevator down to the lobby and stood on Michigan Avenue at 8:17 p.m., shaking so hard I had to sit on the curb. My phone exploded. Nathan, you humiliated my entire family. Lauren, ungrateful. Victoria, tacky display. I blocked them all. Then I called the one person who'd promised to always pick up. Mia answered on the first ring. I'm already in my car. Where are you? She arrived 17 minutes later, found me still sitting on the curb, and didn't ask questions. She just wrapped her coat around my shoulders and said, "Tell me everything. Start with the money." We sat in her car for 2 hours while I explained the transfers, the canceled vendors, the down payment disparity, the sudden announcement of my household management duties. Mia listened the way lawyers listen, taking mental notes, asking specific questions, never interrupting. The townhouse, she finally said. Do you have copies of all the closing documents? Everything Gerald gave me. Why? Because something's wrong. I can feel it. Bennett family lawyer handles the closing, Nathan contributes a fifth of what you did, and now they're treating you like hired help? That's not marriage, that's acquisition. You think he's, what, stealing from me? I think he's positioning, and I want to know what he's positioning for. Mia spent the next 3 days at the Cook County Recorder's office. I stayed at her apartment, called in sick to work, and tried not to think about the 47 texts from Nathan that I hadn't read. On Thursday morning, Mia came back with a stack of documents and a face like stone. Sophia, sit down. She spread the papers across her coffee table. This is the deed you signed, joint tenancy with right of survivorship. Your name and Nathan's, equal ownership. Exactly what you thought you were getting. Okay. This, she said, sliding another document forward, is an Illinois land trust, recorded the same day, same time, same property. It names Nathan as sole trustee with power of direction. Under Illinois law, the trustee controls everything: sales, refinancing, mortgages, transfers. You're listed as a beneficial owner, but you have zero control. He can sell the house tomorrow without your signature. My ears rang. That's not legal. It's absolutely legal. It's also fraud in the inducement. You were told you were buying property as equal partners. You weren't. You were funding an asset he controls. But I signed everything. You signed a deed. I guarantee you never saw this land trust document. Gerald Morrison filed it separately. This wasn't an oversight, Sophia. This was planned. I read the trust document 3 times. The legal language blurred, but the signatures were crystal clear. Nathan Bennett, trustee. Gerald Morrison, witness. Filed September 14th at 4:47 p.m., 3 hours after our closing. He knew, I whispered. He knew the whole time. Of course he knew. And I'm betting this isn't the only thing he's hiding. Mia was right. Over the next week, she pulled banking records, cross-referenced property records, interviewed 3 of Nathan's ex-girlfriends. The pattern emerged like a blueprint. Nathan had done this before. Not the land trust specifically, that was new, but the financial control, the isolation, the weaponized family expectations. His previous girlfriend, Amanda, lasted 2 years before she discovered he'd opened credit cards in her name. The girlfriend before that, Jenna, paid for a joint vacation property that Nathan later sold without her knowledge. He's a professional, Mia said. This is his business model. Find successful women, love bomb them, get them financially entangled, then extract everything while the family provides cover. Why target me specifically? Because you're an architect. You understand contracts, structures, legal language. If he can fool you, he can fool anyone. It's a challenge. And you had $120,000 in liquid savings? That's a significant target. I wanted to vomit. Instead, I went back to work. Sterling and Hayes felt different now, quieter, sharper. My colleagues asked careful questions about the engagement party. Apparently, someone had posted video to Instagram. Me, standing at the Drake, asking about compensation structures. Comments ranged from supportive to vicious. Finally, someone said it versus gold digging much? I ignored all of it. I had the Morrison Medical Center expansion to finalize, client presentations to prep, blueprint revisions due by Friday. Work was the only thing that still made sense. Nathan showed up at my office on Tuesday at 2:14 p.m. My assistant Tim tried to stop him. "Mr. Bennett, Sophia's in a meeting." Nathan walked past him, found me at my drafting table with 3 junior architects, mid-presentation about structural load calculations for the medical center's 4th-floor addition. "Sophia, we need to talk, now." I didn't look up from the blueprints. "I'm working. Make an appointment." "I'm your fiancé." "You're a man who stole $16,800 from me and secretly filed legal documents to control property I mostly paid for. I don't take appointments from thieves." The junior architects froze. Nathan's face went purple. "You're making this so much worse than it needs to be," he said quietly. "Just come home. We'll figure this out." "The townhouse isn't my home. According to the land trust, it's your investment property that I accidentally funded. I'm staying with Mia." "That bitch is poisoning you against my family." "Mia's a divorce attorney who pulled public records. The Cook County Recorder's Office poisoned me against your family. You just gave them the documents." Tim appeared with building security. Nathan left, but not before turning back at my office door. "You're going to regret embarrassing me, Sophia. My family doesn't forget." After he left, I sat down. My hands were shaking, but something else was happening too. Something was hardening inside me. Not anger. Anger burns out. This was colder. This was decision. I called Mia. "How do we fix this?" "Legally? It's complicated. The land trust is valid. You'd have to sue for fraud, prove he misrepresented the nature of the ownership, argue for reformation of the deed. That takes months, costs thousands, and might not work." "What's the other option?" Pause. "Make him surrender it voluntarily." "Why would he do that?" "Because I gather enough evidence to bury him, not just financially, personally, professionally, publicly. I make keeping that house more expensive than giving it to you." "How long will that take?" "As long as it takes." "But Sophia, he's going to escalate first. Men like Nathan always do. When they lose control, they panic. So I need you to be ready." She was right. Nathan escalated. First, he filed a police report claiming I'd stolen $15,000 from the joint account. I had to spend 4 hours at the station with bank statements proving every withdrawal was mortgage payments or bills. The detective apologized. Nathan didn't. Then, Lauren started calling my office. 10 times a day, blocking her number, leaving voicemails about how I'd destroyed their family, how Victoria was devastated, how I was clearly unstable. Then the social media campaign. Someone, probably Lauren, created a Facebook group called Gold Coast Grifters with my photo. The description claimed I was a career social climber who seduced a Bennett heir to steal his family money. It got 340 members in 2 days. Mia sent cease and desist letters. The group got taken down, but screenshots lived forever, and my name was now permanently attached to words like grifter and social climber. I stopped reading comments. I stopped checking social media. I worked. 12-hour days at Sterling and Hayes, designing buildings that would outlast this nightmare, structures that would stand when Nathan Bennett was forgotten. And Mia worked too. She gathered recordings. She interviewed Nathan's exes, his former business partners, 3 people who'd worked for the Bennett family office. She pulled financial records, tracked the transfers from our joint account, documented every threatening voicemail Lauren left. She submitted public records requests for every property Nathan had ever owned or co-owned. The evidence piled up. By March, Mia had a file 3 inches thick. "Ready?" she asked. "What are we doing?" "We're offering him an exit. He signs over full ownership of the townhouse, returns every penny he transferred from the joint account, covers your legal fees, and signs a non-disclosure agreement. In exchange, I don't file this evidence with the Illinois Attorney General's Consumer Fraud Division or send it to the partners at Bennett Capital Management where Charles works." That's blackmail. That's negotiation. Blackmail would be if I demanded money he doesn't owe. This is demanding he return what he stole. There's a difference. The meeting happened at Mia's office on April 3rd. Nathan arrived with Gerald Morrison. They were confident. Expensive suits, matching briefcases, the posture of men who'd never lost. Mia slid the evidence across the table without preamble. Bank transfers, ex-girlfriend testimonies, property fraud documentation. Gerald's face went white. Nathan's jaw tightened. "This is harassment," Nathan said. "This is discovery," Mia corrected. "And I have 3 more boxes in my car. Want to see them?" Gerald leaned close to Nathan, whispered something. Nathan shook his head. "I'm not signing away property I bought." "Property Sophia bought," Mia interrupted. "With $120,000 of her savings, while you contributed $25,000 and secretly filed a land trust to control it. That's textbook fraud in the inducement. A jury would love this case. Successful female architect, manipulative wealthy boyfriend, secret legal schemes. It's lifetime movie material. Shall we roll the dice?" Nathan's hands curled into fists. "Sophia, tell your attack dog to back off." I'd been silent until then, watching from Mia's side of the table. When I spoke, my voice was steady. "You told me we were equal partners. You told me we were building something together. You told me you'd pay me back. You lied about all of it. You stole from me, then you tried to make me your family's unpaid servant. Now you're calling Mia an attack dog? Nathan, the only person who needs to back off is you. Sign the papers or spend the next 2 years in court explaining to judges why you're listed as sole trustee on property your fiancé primarily funded." Silence. Gerald reviewed the settlement offer, his lips pressed together. "My advice," he finally told Nathan, "is to sign." Nathan signed. The townhouse reverted to my sole ownership. He returned $16,800 to my account. He paid Mia's legal fees, $8,400. He signed an NDA promising never to contact me again or discuss the settlement publicly. We walked out of that office at 4:17 p.m. on a Tuesday. The sky was gray, rain threatening. Mia put her arm around my shoulders. "How do you feel?" "Empty," I said. "I thought getting justice would feel different." Justice doesn't feel like anything, Mia said. Justice is just the floor under your feet when someone stops trying to pull it out from under you. The feeling comes later. She was right. The feeling came 6 weeks later when I was back at the townhouse, my townhouse, repainting the master bedroom walls from the cream Nathan chose to the deep forest green I'd always wanted. I was on a ladder at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, roller in hand, paint speckling my hair, when I realized this was mine. Not ours. Mine. I sat on that ladder and cried for 20 minutes. But that wasn't the end. Because Nathan Bennett didn't know how to lose. In June, I started getting emails from wedding vendors I'd never contacted. Angry emails. Threatening emails. Someone had booked services in my name, provided my credit card information, then canceled without paying deposits. When I contacted the vendors, they'd all received booking emails from an account called sbennettarchitect@gmail.com. I'd never created that email address. Mia filed another cease and desist. The emails stopped. But my credit score dropped 40 points because someone had disputed legitimate charges on my card, charges I'd actually made and paid. I spent weeks fighting with credit agencies, proving my identity, disputing the disputes. He's trying to make your life expensive, Mia said. It's punishment. He wants you to regret standing up to him. Can we stop him? Not until he commits a prosecutable offense. Right now, it's just harassment. Annoying, but not criminal. I hated that answer. But Mia was right. So I focused on work. The Morrison Medical Center expansion broke ground in July. I was promoted to senior project architect, the youngest in Sterling and Hayes history. The promotion came with a 22% raise and my own office with windows. My boss, Richard Hayes, called me into his office the day the announcement went public. He was 64, silver-haired, the kind of architect who wore three-piece suits to construction sites. "Sophia, I'm proud of you," he said, "and I want you to know. We heard what happened with the Bennett family. We know about the engagement party video, and I want you to understand something. The way you handled yourself in that moment showed more structural integrity than half the buildings in this city. You asked the right questions. You demanded fair terms. That's exactly what we need from senior architects." I cried in his office. He handed me a handkerchief embroidered with his initials and didn't make me feel embarrassed about it. Work became my anchor. But Mia stayed vigilant. She'd kept monitoring Nathan, tracking his movements, documenting his attempts to harass me. In August, she discovered something that made her call me at 11 p.m. "Sophia, Nathan's engaged." I sat up in bed. "What?" "To a 25-year-old marketing assistant named Claire Hoffman. They've been dating for 5 months, which means he started seeing her while we were still negotiating the settlement. And here's the interesting part. She just bought a condo in Lincoln Park. $470,000 purchase price. She contributed $95,000 down payment. Nathan contributed $30,000. Want to guess what I found in the Cook County property records? Land trust. Exact same structure, same lawyer, same playbook. He's doing it again. My hands went cold. We have to warn her. We can't. The NDA prevents you from discussing the settlement. An attorney-client privilege prevents me from revealing anything without a court order. If I contact her directly, Nathan could sue both of us. So we just let it happen? No. We wait. Eventually, Claire will figure it out. And when she does, she'll go looking for information. That's when I make sure she finds the right lawyer, one who knows exactly what questions to ask. I hated that answer too, but Mia was right again. September came, 1 year since I'd signed the papers that I thought made me a homeowner, but actually made me a bank account. I was painting the second bedroom, this time in a soft blue, turning it into a home office, when my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. "Is this Sophia Bennett?" A woman's voice. Young. Shaking. "It's Sophia Chen now." I took back my maiden name. "Who is this?" "My name is Claire Hoffman." I'm. I was engaged to Nathan Bennett. I think he's stealing from me. I closed my eyes. What happened? He canceled our wedding vendors. He transferred money from our joint account. He filed some kind of trust document on the condo I bought, and the title company says he's the only one who can sell it. And when I asked him about it, he said I was being paranoid. He said I should be grateful his family is helping me navigate adult finances. The words were almost identical. The script hadn't changed. Claire, I can't talk to you about Nathan because of a legal agreement, but I can give you a name, Mia Callahan. She's a divorce attorney. She knows Illinois property law better than anyone in the state. Call her. Tell her everything. She'll know what to do. Did he do this to you too? I can't answer that. But Claire, call Mia. I hung up before she could ask more questions. Then I called Mia. Claire Hoffman just called me. I know. I gave her your number. Wanted to see if she'd follow through. Most don't. They think love will fix it. But Claire's smart. She's already pulled property records. She found your name on the original deed before Nathan transferred it back to you. That's how she got your number. Cook County Public Records. Is that legal? Public records are public. And Sophia? Claire hired me. We're filing suit against Nathan tomorrow for the exact same fraud scheme. This time, he won't get the clean exit. This time, I'm taking it public. Mia's lawsuit against Nathan was filed September 27th. By October 2nd, 3 more women had contacted her office with similar stories. By October 15th, the Chicago Tribune ran a front-page story. Gold Coast real estate heir accused of systematic fraud against partners. Nathan's face was on every newsstand. The Bennett family released a statement calling the allegations baseless. Charles resigned from Bennett Capital Management 3 days later. Victoria stopped appearing at charity events. Lauren's Instagram went private. I didn't celebrate. I just kept working. By November, the Morrison Medical Center expansion was 60% complete. I spent my days reviewing steel frame installations and my evenings in my forest green bedroom, reading architecture books and not thinking about Nathan Bennett. But sometimes, late at night, I'd walk through my townhouse, my $120,000 investment that I'd almost lost, and I'd think about how close I'd come. How if I hadn't called Mia that night on Michigan Avenue, I'd still be paying mortgage payments on property I couldn't control. I'd still be managing Victoria's calendar, remembering Charles's golf schedule, transferring money to Lauren. I'd still be the keeper of their hearts while they dismantled mine. December brought the first snow. I was at my drafting table at Sterling and Hayes, working on a proposal for a new public library in Rogers Park, when Mia called. It's done. Nathan settled with all 4 women. He's surrendered ownership on 3 properties, returned a combined $287,000, and signed agreements never to use land trusts in residential property purchases again. Gerald Morrison surrendered his law license, and Sophia, Nathan's banned from practicing real estate law in Illinois. He's finished. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I felt tired. Good, I said. That's good. One more thing. Claire wants to meet you. She says she wants to thank you. For what? For picking up the phone. We met at a coffee shop in Lincoln Park on December 19th. Claire was petite, blonde, nervous. She had Mia's 3-inch file in front of her and tears in her eyes. I almost didn't call you, she said. I thought maybe Nathan was right. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was being paranoid. But then I found your name in the property records and I thought, if he did this before, if someone else went through this, maybe I'm not crazy. You're not crazy, I said. You're being defrauded. There's a difference. How did you know to fight back? I didn't know. I just got lucky. I had a friend who knew what to look for. I paused. And I had $120,000 worth of reasons to be furious. Claire laughed, sharp and bitter. I had $95,000 worth. I guess I should have funded more. Don't do that. Don't make this about what you did or didn't contribute. Nathan's a professional. This is what he does. You're not the problem. He is. We sat there for an hour. Two women who'd almost married the same fraud, comparing notes on his patterns. The love bombing, the isolation tactics, the way he'd make you feel special, chosen, protected, right until the moment you needed protecting from him. When we left, Claire hugged me. Thank you for answering. I know you didn't have to. Yes, I did, I said, because somebody has to break the chain. 1 year later, December again. I'm sitting in my home office, the soft blue room with windows facing the street, reviewing blueprints for the Sterling and Hayes' newest project, a women's shelter on the South Side. It's a $12 million development, fully funded, designed specifically to provide safe transitional housing for women leaving financially abusive relationships. Richard Hayes asked me to lead the design team. You understand what they need, he said. Not just shelter, autonomy. I've spent 6 months designing the space. Private rooms with keyed locks that only residents control, financial literacy classrooms, legal consultation offices, childcare facilities, a community garden where residents can grow their own food, their own resources, their own independence. The blueprints are beautiful. Strong foundation, reinforced walls, multiple exits. It's everything I wish I'd had when I was sitting on that curb outside the Drake Hotel. My phone buzzes. Mia's calling. Guess what I just filed? Tell me. Class action lawsuit. 8 women, 4 states, identical land trust fraud scheme. Nathan wasn't the only Bennett man running this scam. Charles was teaching it to business associates. Gerald Morrison facilitated 17 similar trusts before he surrendered his license. We're going after all of them. How long will it take? Years. But that's the point. We're not going away. Every time they think it's over, we'll still be here. I smile. Good. After we hang up, I walk to my kitchen and make coffee. The townhouse is mine. Fully, legally, irrevocably mine. I've renovated 3 rooms, planted window boxes, installed smart locks that only I control. I've made this place safe. But sometimes I still think about that night at the Drake Hotel, the chandeliers, the champagne. The moment Lauren announced my new role as family servant, and Nathan said nothing. The way 60 people applauded my diminishment, and I think about what I said. Are Bennett women compensated for this work? That question saved me. Not because it was smart or brave, but because it was specific. It demanded an answer that exposed the truth. If you're reading this, if you're watching this, I want you to remember something. Silence isn't peace. Silence is the price you pay for someone else's comfort, and that price is always too high. Ask the specific questions. Document the answers. Trust your instincts when the numbers don't match the promises. And for God's sake, have at least one friend who knows how to pull property records, because love doesn't lock you out. Love doesn't steal from you. Love doesn't announce your servitude at your own engagement party and then call you ungrateful when you object. Love builds with you, not on top of you. It's snowing outside. I'm watching the flakes fall past my office window, landing on the street where I almost lost everything. My coffee is hot. My blueprints are spread across the desk. In 6 months, we break ground on the shelter. I'm 30 now. I have a townhouse I actually own. I have a career I built without permission. I have my name back. Sophia Chen, senior project architect, designer of buildings that protect people. And I have Mia, who still answers on the first ring. That's enough. That's everything. The end. If you've ever had to walk away from someone who promised partnership but delivered control, type, I walked away in the comments. Or if you stayed and fought for equal terms, type, I stayed and fought. Both are brave. Both are valid. Both deserve recognition. If this story meant something to you, check the description for more stories about standing up, speaking out, and building a life that's truly yours. Thank you for being here. Stay warm out there.